Find the perimeter of quadrilateral LMNO. LMNO. So this time, the last video we did the Pythagorean Theorem. Here we're going to be using the Pythagorean Theorem. In my opinion, the Pythagorean Theorem is much more efficient than the distance formula when working with graphs. If they give you the just coordinate points, distance formula is more effective, but right here, I think right now, it's better for us to use the Pythagorean Theorem. The Pythagorean Theorem states a squared plus b squared equals c squared, the c being the distance, and a and b being the distance between them. Alright, so let's get started. So we're using Pythagorean Theorem, which is kind of important here. Alright, so first, let's cover what we have. What I first notice is something we don't have to do. It's not a slant distance, so we can actually count the distance. Remember, you count on the dot, you start where the dot is. So here, we don't have to do any Pythagorean Theorem, which is kind of lucky for us. So the point you start at is where you're sitting. You haven't walked anywhere yet. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So right here we have a straight 9 units. We have 9 units right there. Again, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 units. So we don't even have to represent LO. So LO is equal to 9 units. Alright, our next one we need to look for is NO. Then we need to look for MN. I'll move this up a little bit. And then finally we have to find LM. Alright, let's get started. First one I want to work on, let's work on NO. Let's work on NO. So NO, we need to know what the A and B are. So to figure out the A or B, we need to count the distance. A or B, the horizontal vertical distance doesn't really matter, but just for the sake of doing it, I want to always count A as our horizontal. And B is vertical, just to kind of keep something just keep us organized. And remember, C is the distance. So when we get to that point, that's our distance. Alright, so first let's count the horizontal distance. Well, this is at 1, this is at 2. So the horizontal distance between NO is going to be 1 squared, that's our A, plus, then we count the vertical distance. So we put a dot here, 0, but we have to go down 1, 2, 3, 4. So the distance between that is 4. This is equal to c squared, which is the distance. That was 1, and then 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, from here we have 1 squared, which is 1, plus 16 equals c squared. 1 plus 16, 17. 17 is equal to c squared, therefore our answer is 17 is equal to c. So we square rooted it. So square root 17 is our distance for NO. We're just going to keep it as a square root so we can make sure we get an exact answer. Don't simplify it to the very end. This will give us an exact answer. Alright, let's focus now on MN. Let me just have a color just so I can keep myself organized. This was for NO. Now we're on NN. Again, we're going to follow the A is horizontal, V is vertical. It doesn't matter where you start. I'm just going to start an M and then go from here. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like it's 5 units. Let me just make sure I have that right. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have the horizontal distance as 5 squared. The vertical would be 0, 1, 2. So that would be 2 squared. 5 times 5, you get 25. 4 times 4, or 2 times 2 is 4. You get 29 is equal to c squared, square root. Therefore, square root 29 is equal to the distance. Now we're left with ln. LM, we can start on L here. We're going to this point right here. 0, 1, 2, 3. So our A here is 3 squared. And I'm just a little confused because I want to make sure I keep it with LM. The color will keep me organized. 3 squared, 0, 1, 2, 3. Then I want the vertical, the B. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you get plus 6 squared equals c squared. So you get 9 plus 16 equals c squared. 9 plus 16, 25 equals c squared. Square root both sides. You get 5 is equal to c. Alright, so 29 and 17 are both perfect squares, so we can't simplify them using a factor tree. But let's get an exact answer first. Then we'll get our estimate. It will be 9 plus 5, which is 14. Because we did 9 plus 5. Plus square root 29 plus square root 17. This would be considered an exact answer. But now, I want to get like an estimate using decimals because my mind doesn't work so well with radicals. So the way you could do this now is you can use your calculator. So I'm going to put that right there so you can see as I input it. So it'll be 14 plus 29, then you click square root, plus 17 square root equals, and we get the distance here would be an estimate. The nearest hundredth would be equal to, so an estimate of the distance is equal to 23.51. Here we can use units. So 23.51. We'll just make sure, do it twice to make sure we did it right. You do 14 plus 29, then you square root, plus 17 square root equals, and you get 23.51.